And I look forward now requesting Professor Govinda to kindly address and guide us what our school should do in this direction based upon his national and international experience, particularly among the developing countries of the world. Thank you very much.
Professor Khandelwal and distinguished leaders from the HRD Center of DPS and my co-travelers in the field of teaching. It is indeed a great pleasure and privilege for me to stand before you and talk to you. I should express my gratefulness to Professor Khandelwal and the HRD Center of DPS for inviting me to share some of my ideas on this occasion. I am not a very good speaker for giving an inaugural speech. I am, like you, more a teacher. So I prefer to talk on a subject rather than giving any inaugural address. So I have chosen to talk not exactly inaugurating this seminar, but to speak to you, or rather share with you my own reflections on what I have called the changing landscape of schooling and the changing role of the teacher in this changing landscape, what has happened. As I said, I am also, like you, a teacher, so it will be more a sort of a reflective journey for me when I speak to you on what exactly is the teacher about, and then what is the role of the changing role of the teacher in the changing, because I do feel that the school has also changed enormously over a period of time, and that has also should rather, whether it has or not, I do not know, impact the role of the teacher also. That's what I want to share with you. This is important because you would agree with me that in almost all cultures and civilizations, teacher has always been regarded very highly. In our own culture, we have talked about teacher, guru as even greater than the God. That is how we have placed. But has the guru remained the same with that kind of veneration today? We are all teachers. I think it is important for us to ask this question to ourselves and ask ourselves what should we be doing, how we should be dealing with this issue. 3 experiences I would like to share, my personal encounters during the last 20 and odd years that I have been, 25, 30 years that I have been associated with actively in teaching, rather 40 years I should say. One experience is that it's a few years ago. I was traveling in a remote part of Madhya Pradesh, and the school that I went to is in a very inaccessible village, and a teacher was teaching there. And I don't know whether you would have approved that kind of teaching or not, because children were making a lot of noise. But I found that the children were enjoying, and children were going to the teacher. Teacher seems to be engaged in talking to a child, not really standing up and then talking to all the children at one, and they were not sitting quiet. I don't know whether you would approve or not in your school, but I found it very interesting and very enjoyable because the children were enjoying the whole thing. Because I have always felt a quiet classroom probably is not a learning classroom. It's only a noisy classroom which is learning. I don't know how you look at it. Anyway, I like that. And since children were enjoying, I told the teacher that I am really very happy that, children seem to like you, and then they are talking to you and you are listening. He was not anyway, he didn't say anything. He continued to interact with the children. Then I asked the teacher a question. Do you all follow Hindi? Yeah, because this incident happened in Hindi. मास्टर जी दूसरी टीचर कहाँ है? आप अकेले हैं, दूसरा कहाँ है? Because according to the government rules, actually every school should have at least 2 teachers. He didn't say anything. I asked him again, where is the second teacher? Sir, he didn't complain. Sir, ऐसा ही है सर, मैं हूँ ना इधर पढ़ाने के लिए. This is all that he said. He didn't say anything. I'm here to teach. So I was quite surprised. Anyway, I kept quiet. After a while, to cut short, he said that, sir, could I ask you some question? एक सवाल पूछूं? कहाँ पूछो? You know, this village is very remote, and so it is very difficult to find anything in that village. In reality, when I went there, I found that in that village, but for the torn textbooks in the classroom, there is no print material in the whole of the village practically. That is the kind of a village. It's a very small village. The number of children were only around 32 children sitting in that classroom. Nothing else. That is the whole school, in fact. That is how it was. So he asked a question, in this village nothing I can get, and therefore I go every 15 days to buy my groceries in a nearby place, a central place, which is about 16 kilometers. Sir, every time I go there, I also read newspapers, he said. I said, very good. So then he said, sir, last time when I went, पिछले बार मैं गया था, तभी मैंने एक आइटम पढ़ा न्यूज़पेपर में. इसमें लिखा था कि एक अमेरिका ने एक अंतरिक्षयान भेजा था, वो वापस आते वक्त हादसा हो गए, और इसमें एक भारतीय महिला भी थी. ऐसा मैंने पढ़ा था अंतरिक्षयान के बारे में. No, I could understand what he was talking. He didn't tell any name, nothing. He said, सब ये सभी के बारे में माहिती कहाँ मिलता है? मैं इसे भी हमारे बच्चों को पढ़ाना चाहता हूँ. I'm talking of a school teacher in that remote village. I was stuck actually. I didn't have any answer to him. Where will he find material on learning about spaceship? And after a pause, he told me, किसको पता, हमारे बच्चे में भी कोई ऐसा कर सकते हैं आगे जाके. You imagine the kind of vision that the teacher has. That's what a teacher even today is. That is one encounter I want to share. I will come to that, why I am saying this later on. The second encounter is, I think it's around 10 years ago. I was visiting a school. It's a private school. And I found that the school is somewhat very different. Maybe some of your schools could be like that. I have no idea. It was in the school had many children. I'm not talking of post RTE. I'm talking of pre RTE period, 10 years ago. Children from different groups were there in that. It was an English medium school, a good private English medium school. And I also had in almost all the sections, I found also children with some disability also in that classroom. So it's a very mixed classroom that I found. I asked the principal that how did you hit upon this idea of bringing a classroom like this? This is a very unusual thing that I have come across those days in a private English medium school of this kind, where you collect children of all kinds and then all background, and then have disabled children in almost every classroom, every section that you could have. She said, I didn't do anything. When I became a principal here, it was already like this. I have only retained it. She also told me, in fact, when I joined and they selected me as the principal, they told me that you should come and spend some time here and see whether it is convenient to you, comfortable to you. Then only you should take up the job, because we don't want you to come and then say that afterwards, no, I didn't bargain for this kind of a work. I cannot really run this school. You should not say. So you come and spend, and we will pay you money for that period also, they told me. So she said that, when she came to the school to spend, she found this is really very strange, and the kind of situation she had never experienced in her earlier schools. She asked the principal, but she really liked it, and so she asked the previous principal who were going away, who was the founder principal, how did you hit upon this idea of putting together a school like this? She said, the earlier person, the founder principal said, It is a strange thing that happened. I also never thought that I will build a school like this. It was a very small school that I put together. And one day, when I came out, I used to live on the same campus. It's a small place at that time. And when I came out in front of the school, I found on the stage a child who has been left behind and gone away by someone. And I didn't know what to do. Then I talked to, by that time the other teachers also came. I talked to the teachers and said that anyway, let us keep the child for a while and look after. Somebody will come and then claim the child. But nobody came to claim the child. So the child remained with us for some time. We didn't realize what was ahead of us. After a while, we found, after some days, we found that this child is not like any other child. She is a special child and a challenged child. Now, we were in great dilemma. What do we do? How do we really bring up this child? But collectively, we all teachers, not just me, but all the teachers in the school said that, oh, after all, the child has been left here and we should bring up the child, and it is a challenge for us as a teacher. And that is the real challenge. If you cannot really bring up a child of this kind, what is the point in teaching children who can learn on their own? So this actually completely changed the philosophy of the school. Since then, the school has started really bringing children into the school, not people leaving behind the children, but getting children into the school of various kinds, from the street, from around, and the challenged children. And then this is what has become our school. This is what she told. Now I find that this is a great challenge. I accepted. I am enjoying this life. This is the second encounter that I had. The third one, which is something very different, I want to say. A few days ago, there was a conference in Philadelphia, and I was looking through the report of that conference. And the conference was about MOOC. I don't know how many of you heard of this word called MOOC, M-O-O-C. Has any of you heard? MOOC? MOOC is Massive Open Online Courses. This is what called. This whole seminar, conference was on MOOC in Philadelphia. And one of the questions that they were saying is that what is the future of schools and colleges with MOOC? MOOC is that something on which it's a massive open online courses where people can learn on their own. It is accessible to everyone. It is open. It's online. You don't have to go anywhere. You can access the knowledge on your computer, and it is open, so you don't have to pay anything to anyone. It is available to you, and plenty of such things are coming, and every day the size of MOOC is increasing. It also, the report said, next to US, the largest number of registration on MOOC is from India. This is what the report said. So that report they were quoting, in fact, which is a newspaper report, I think a month ago or so. No, this is the third encounter, which actually made me think these three things. How do we really look at the teacher? Is the school the same as it was earlier? And where have we reached as teachers? Where do we stand today? Are we not standing on a threshold of major change in the way we need to look at education itself? And are we really ready to really redefine ourselves and our roles in this? That's what made me think these events, these encounters that I had. I just want to therefore share with you a few points in terms of how the school has changed and what is the kind of challenges and the new roles that probably we as teachers should play in this changing